coming up next.
It's very important to focus on personal development in order to grow in life in general. So if you're not doing
that's a key fact, bro.
You're gonna be stuck. Like you can't expect to get here by not working on yourself and changing your mindset from here.
It's so easy, like when you're grinding, you get in autopilot mode, because as men, we don't really have a lot of room to slow down and just give in and cave in. But some people do cave in, and those are the people who, unfortunately commit suicide, shut down on everybody. So for me personally,
building a legacy, so watch how you step to me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chillin', man. Building a legacy, so watch how you step to me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chillin', man.
Yo, what's good? It's Sir Gates, and we are here being here at the podcast. It's been a long time coming. Feel good to be back on the mic. Feel good to be back on the mic, I'm telling you. But look, I hope y'all day going good, going swell, going smooth. But today, I got a guest with me. Of course, it's more than a guest. It's my bro Senseikyh. He in town from Cali. He just touched down. We had a crazy show last night that we put together. So, bro, here, what we about to do today is just pretty much just chop it up. Catch up. It's been a while since we've been in the same room for this long together. Y'all just talk and catch up. So you gotta just catch up, touch some good topics, and have a good conversation. But again, without further ado, I'll let bro introduce himself. So what's up, bro? Let everybody know he man.
What's up, bro? I like that introduction.
Oh,
man.
Yeah,
man. quick trip. Like you said, me and you talk all the time on the phone, but it's been a while since we've been able to sit down in the same room and just, shoot shit back and forth. So quick trip, but productive.
It was very productive, man. Every time we do have like quick trips and stuff like that, if we got a small gap of time, we gonna get something done regardless. So nonetheless, if it is getting done, it's gonna be some kind of productivity or something towards the goal. So that's always good, man. But
for sure.
So like I say today, what we gonna do, we gonna catch up. But just on my side, and even for anybody who was wondering or wanted to know or just curious, I know like what it was 2020, I wanna say. When started podcasting back then and the pandemic hit and a lot of stuff slowed down, but just getting caught up with fast forward 2023. So now, and then it's just being announced for the first time whenever this episode drops. So moving forward, just took some time off to focus, personal development, outside that personal development, just trying to pretty much make some moves to get back into the podcasting space and get into it the right way this time. Even though the first time I did it, it was like trial and error or whatnot. But things changed, of course, with the pandemic. Despite I was doing that, kind of pretty much really outgrew that with time. Then as far as the guests coming through, that pretty much one thing. So just fast forward now, just still trying to stick with that goal. Got a podcasting space. I'm a content production studio space now to shoot a podcast out of. So pretty soon, y'all have these interviews coming back full time. That's my word. Kept that word. But other than that, life just been cool. Family good. Really can't complain. Just wrapped up a semester in school. About to hop back in there this summer.
For sure.
Other than that, things just been smooth, man. Keeping my head down, trying to stay locked in on the goal per usual, and just keep things moving. But other than that, dog, things been just simple. Clean cut, man.
Man, it's crazy because even when you told me you were about to do this, just to be sitting in the room now and to just see it, like to see what became of it, and the fact that you still adding to it, and it already looks beautiful, bro. So for real, like you did a great job with this. I think it's funny though because a lot of people don't know we had our own radio show,
man.
Like back in Albany, pregame radio. So even when I'm in Cali and I'm doing production for the Reentry Network podcast, I'm just like, man, a lot of those skills we already had in us. So it's like, it was learning the podcasting space, but also just going back and redeveloping the skills that we already had through radio. Because me personally, I didn't want to do radio no more after we got done with school. But I'm like, man, podcasting is like advanced. I think it's more advanced than radio because I think it's more, a little more hands-on, a little more personal.
I can agree. Some may disagree as well, but it's just,
a lot of people disagree for sure. But being able to touch both spaces, that's just like my opinion. And then also another thing you just said, you didn't say setbacks, but you took some time just for personal development. That's one of the things I want to talk about today. I feel like not even just at our age, but just the way that society is right now, it's so much of a push for that instant gratification. Like, oh man, I gotta get this episode out, gotta get this done, gotta get this done. And I feel like we don't take a lot of time to just, get ourselves together first. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's pretty big that you touched on that.
Yeah, it's like for me, personal development over the past, of course, throughout life, you always want to get better in life. But when I say with having the intentions, like intentionally saying I want to advance in my personal development, or I want to do better in this part of my life for personal development. But over the past 2 years, I've been taking it serious. Like even this year, or this Q2, even I just told myself, like, growing up, I wasn't always the one who wanted to read a book, but I know for a fact, after reading books, it's a lot of gems in books. So that's, to me now, that's attached to my process of personal development. But also, some people may say, hey, I hate reading. Like with me, it takes a while and sometimes to lock in on those pages because it's just boring, this and that. Like I love movies, podcasts. What I did, I said, hey, let me just try to listen to audiobooks. But audiobooks have changed my life. Like listening to audiobooks have allowed me to read like 5 books in 3 weeks because of listening to audiobooks. And it also made me realize just on my time management, how much I'm in the car. But because the main time I listen to them is when I'm driving somewhere. If I'm at home, I pick up a book then and maybe read there preferring than trying to listen to an audiobook in the house. Yeah. But driving, if you ever somebody in my car and they riding me, for a fact, it ain't gonna be no music unless it's like unless it's one of them events where I know for a fact you want to go on there and have a little vibe. But other than that, when I'm in the car, I intentionally spend that time to pop on a podcast or an audiobook because it's passive time. Like you don't get that time a lot nowhere else outside of being real, taking a shower, or if you're sitting on the toilet. Other times like that, you're really not still enough to lock in and focus, or driving. So when I'm in the car, it's a podcast on an audiobook, but it's just going back to personal development. Like it's just so important because it's just like in life, if you're not at 85% of yourself or your mindset, how do you expect to be there for someone or people in need? Not saying like in a like a dangerous situation, but just for them to pull on you, for you to fill them up. Sometimes if you empty inside of yourself because you're not working on your own personal development and you just feeling down in the moment, or you just in a rut or in a season in life to where you really don't have nothing to give. But again, that season could be because somebody not just real deal spending time doing personal development. But it's very important to focus on personal development in order to grow in life in general. Because if you're not doing
that's a key fact, bro.
You're gonna be stuck. Like you can't expect to get here by not working on yourself and changing your mindset from here. Because if you're gonna stay here, there's no way to get up there to do that. So, but that's just some of the things. That's just a few things I do for personal development. What, like, as far as for you, how do you like manage or take care of yourself with personal development?
Well, I'm gonna answer that, but first I'm gonna bounce back on the audio versus the paperback books. I do both, but honestly, I intake more, of course, with audio books because I'm in the car a lot too. So it's like you can just put those on and you'll be done like in no time. But I will say
things go by fast. You want to think you didn't, but
nah, for sure. But as much intake as I get with the audio books, I feel like I intake a little bit more with the paperback books because it's kind of like more of my own pace.
Facts.
Like audio books. You'll be listening to it and you'll be like, damn, that's a gem. But it's easy when you're hearing the audiobooks, it triggers things in your mind to be thinking about, damn, that's right though. That's true. I could be doing that. And then after that thought is over, you miss like 45 seconds of the audiobook.
You right. So not to cut you off, but I catch myself doing that so much with audiobooks. Like sometimes not saying our days off, but sometimes if you're driving and you just look at like, dang, how did I get here? When I'm driving, I do that sometimes, but gotta keep reminding the audiobook to get back to it. But that's just one of the things that happen when doing it. But and then bounce off what you said real quick as well. With audiobooks, like how you say with the paperback book is kind of more personal and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like, yes, I know how to read a book, this and that, but sometimes within like the English language, I may not know how that author or whomever may have meant to say what they're saying because of how it was written. So when I hear somebody say it, I get that real context of this is how they were trying to say this sentence versus me trying to interpret it in a different way of hearing them trying to say it. But that's just a bounce off of that. My bad, dog.
No, that's real. And then the downside of the paperbacks is I feel like you have to be more intentional when you're reading the paperback book because that's really you designating your time. It's easy when you get in the car to throw on that audio book. When you're at the home or at the crib, you really have to designate this time to read. So sometimes it is harder. And then sometimes I'll be like, dang, like when I get to page 10, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just do 10 pages today. The audio book, you'll just let it flow.
Yeah.
But not even to be on that for too much longer. I just feel like you said, that personal development is so much. It's so much of a key to the process. I didn't know how important mental health was until it had to be important.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Again. Like we hear about it our whole lives, mental health, but you don't realize until your mind really is calling you like, yo, you're sad right now. Like you need to figure out what's going on. You're going through the motions. It's so easy. Like when you're grinding, you get in autopilot mode because as men, we don't really have a lot of room to slow down and just give in and cave in. But some people do cave in. And those are the people who, unfortunately commit suicide, shut down on everybody. So for me personally, that's a little baby over there, ain't it?
We lie, y'all. We lie.
Yeah, it's all good. But for me personally, bro, a big part of my mental health and my journey of understanding mental health was moving across the country. In our first podcast we did, which seems like so long ago.
Yeah, literally it's been 3 years, bro. That started like 2020. that is correct though, because you've been gone since then, right?
I moved to LA May 1st, 2019.
Okay, so it's been a while.
Yeah, the 4-year anniversary was the other last 2 weeks ago. So
dog.
I didn't know though, bro. Like when I moved out there, it's like I couldn't just, if I was sad, I couldn't just pull up on my family, pull up on my friends. Like all I had was phone conversations.
How did that affect you though? Was that, I know it was hard.
It was a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster. It went from extreme stress to, man, let me enjoy this time with myself. Now, like when I used to live here, I would not be comfortable going out without a whole, like not a mob of people, but at least a couple people. Yeah. Out there in my solitude, now, bro, it's like I'm comfortable going wherever, just talking to random people. Like, it helped me a lot. But like I was saying about the mental health thing, I was like forced to look inward. Because it's like, what do? You're out there, you know what I'm saying? It's just you and your girl. You can't fold.
Yeah, facts.
Like, you can't fold. The world didn't. I realized the world didn't owe me nothing. These people don't know, oh, that's Kai. He moved out here to better himself. They just look at me like, oh, this is a black dude with dreads. Like, so it's like you kind of have to get to that point where you care about yourself more than, you kind of got to care about yourself more than your financial goals and your relationships. Because this comes first. I come first before all the outward things. So that's kind of what started my mental health journey. But it's a lot of things I do to strengthen it, I would say. Working out, like you said, reading, sometimes just count my blessings. Not even to sound cliche.
One of the main things.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. We hear that a lot, to count your blessings, count your blessings. And it's easy to just be like, man, whatever. I know I'm sad. That's all But when you really sit down and be like, yo, got a place to stay, got a car, I got money to buy myself things I need, my necessities, and just take away all that social media shit, bro. It's so easy to be like, yo, I'm better off than I thought.
Really
I
blessed
was
out here, bro. Because some folks, bro, we don't have a quarter or the half of the things we got or access to and this and that. So like you saying, counting your blessings in itself could be the first step to get you out of whatever rut you may think you in at that moment. Because it's just like, man, stuff could be 10, 15, 20 times worse, man. But that, again, coming from a mental health perspective as far as doing that, like I know that helps me sometimes. And like as far as my mental health, that journey started like very, very heavily. You know what? I say like 2017, 2018. It was just where coming to a point where it's like, man, okay, I'm done with the service. That's done. And what I did there doesn't even correlate to anything I can do here in a civilian place. So it's like, all right, got that on my shoulders. And then it's just like, knowing I didn't want to work and this and that, the weight of my shoulders up, making something work. That was there. So there was some days where it was like, man, it's so many decisions to be made. It's so much to do, so much to think about. To where depression kicked in, sadness sometimes. It was just crazy. So to where I was like, man, I don't want to get to a point to where my mental health is on, not saying it will never be unbalanced, but it's like it's on the edge of sliding off. My mom said sometimes your cheese sliding off that cracker, so I don't want that to happen to me. So I try to take care of it, but just ways that I actually dug in to do it was I started going to counseling for real. So that process for me was great. Like a lot of folks, especially again, and this may sound cliche, but in the Black community don't want to go to counseling. And on top of that, in the Black community, a lot of Black men don't want to do it, which may seem soft, but it ain't that. But it's just going to counseling for me. It was just being able to have that space to open up to somebody who would be like a little bit, not saying biased, but they can play the fence, but in a positive way, because they don't know nothing about you, where you come from, your background. But this also works best if you do have a counselor who is really there to try to help you out and get through your issues and situations. But if you do have that person, it's just good at being able to walk into that space of quote unquote, judgmental free space to just release yourself, to release some of your most deepest, darkest secrets, release your trauma and stuff like that you're dealing with, but to be able to have somebody to regurgitate to you questions and things that'll make you think about, hey, because I expressed this to him or her, they asked me this question, which triggered my mindset to a different level of thinking, to be able to go out here and start a healing process and stuff like that. So counseling is very highly recommended in my book. If anybody listening and watching, go to counseling, and nothing wrong with it.
Bro, it's crazy. Not even, not to cut you off. I tried counseling, and I will say, I think it does come down to your actual therapist. Mine that I tried, I'm gonna be honest, I only went to 3 sessions. I could have kept going, but I just wasn't like feeling the vibe. I feel like it wasn't more so. It wasn't so. I feel like it was more so she was doing her job only, and then I ended up just putting what I felt into my music, which is something I've always done. Like I speak on a lot of like personal stuff in my music, so I was like, let me just put it back onto tracks. I'm not saying I would never try it again, but I guess the therapist I did have, it just didn't really work out. I know with her other clients it probably works out better, but for what I was looking for, I don't even know what I was looking for. I was just like, man, let me just go in there though. Nah, for sure. And that's when I learned, though, a big part of the mental aspect is controlling your emotions and how you deal with things. Now, what I haven't mastered it yet, but when something happens that triggers my anger, sadness, anything, bro, I sit with it first before I react to it now. Getting there, haven't mastered it, but it's like, let's say something happens and I'm sad. I feel like just my whole life is just messed up. I'm like, man, once I sit with that feeling, I don't try to like purge the feeling out of me like, I shouldn't be feeling this way. I sit with it. Sometimes it takes a couple hours. Sometimes it may take a whole 24 hours. But in that next day, after I'm able to process how I'm feeling, I'm like, okay, now I can see, okay, it wasn't that bad as I thought. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like controlling my emotions is everything. Even with anger, I read a book called To Be a Man. It said anger is not even it's not a bad emotion. We associate it as negativity. Anger is not bad. Aggression, which is a tool of anger, that's bad. But angry people have accomplished so many things, bro. And people have been spited by others. It's made them create those businesses. It's helped them create their dream body, like do things they never thought they would do. So I'm realizing like every emotion that's usually associated with negativity, you can also use it as a tool. You know what I'm saying? Even with me and you, like we know a lot of people have doubted us. You know what I'm saying? A lot. So even just to see what we doing now, I'm just like, it was a time back in, I'm not gonna say too long ago, but it was a time back in the day.
Some time ago.
Like, bro, I had legit just a shit list, man. Yeah. Like, I really wanted to just show folks like, yeah, look at us now, look at me now, look what I'm doing now. I'm not gonna lie and say I don't have that itch still.
But
We all
it's
got
growth
that
though,
itch.
man. It's growth.
But now my drive is not so much, oh, I want them, I bet they see what I'm doing. Nah, like I feel good that I'm doing. I don't care what nobody else is
growth,
looking
man.
at me and like, oh, he doing that. I don't care no more, bro. Cause life has continued to move. Even when you think about some of the stuff me and you went through, a lot of that stuff was like 10 years ago.
Long
I'm like,
time.
what type of person would I be if I was still like worrying what people thought and shit like that.
Stuff like
so,
that.
you know, just canceling out all that, really canceling out all that noise, bro, the chatter, and just focusing on what I want to do. And it's kind of something me and you talked about. I don't know if you remember the push to get $1 million instead of every day. You know, we say, I want $1 million, I want to get this deal. It's like that was like a driving force for so long. But I think it was you who said you stopped just thinking about getting $1 million and just slowing down, taking things step by step, you know?
Because it's all going to add up to that million. Shoot, you want to get $1 million, you going to get there, but before you even touch that, it's like, and that's this for anybody. If we learn how to touch 10,000 first, then touch 100,000,
for sure,
getting $1 million, I mean, it should be that much easier. I'm not no pro yet, but it should be that much easier. But like you said, controlling being able to show that kind of growth with anger and just using it in, I guess, such of a different manner as far as being in a positive way, because it is shining upon being negativity with just that word anger is attached to those type of words. But being able to process your emotions like that on my journey, I kind of grew in that area through like meditation. So after the counseling and stuff like that, I was still trying to just try this and try that to just get a good routine or a good balance here and there. But meditation, I may not do it as much as I used to, but again, it still triggered my mindset and allowed me to elevate it to another level of ways to process things. Because before, it may seem stupid. You sitting here with your eyes closed, but what I learned the most from it is just, and you said it as well, and didn't even say meditation, is being able to sit down, let a thought come in your head. Don't try your hardest to like ignore it. Like let it come, acknowledge it, accept it, deal with it. But once it's time to let it go, just let it go. Because like as humans, a lot we would, if something happened, or something may be about to happen, we'll take that situation and then set it up here as an apex. And the next thing you know, for the next hour or 2 hours, you making up all these imaginary timelines and thoughts of what could happen here, what could happen there. This may happen, that may happen. What if this happened? What if that happened? But in reality, and none of that going on right now, and it may not ever happen. So it's just like being able to harness and process your emotions and thoughts in the moment. Meditation helps with that. So if somebody's trying to get it to improve your mental health, again, it may seem weird or wild or stupid, but just don't look at it as the whole yogi meditation shit, still this and that. Just look at it for what you're gonna get from it, as far as learning how to process emotions and thoughts and stuff like that, and dealing with it in a positive manner versus lashing out and stuff like that. But just all that to say how important your mental health is on a journey to greatness, to success, to happiness, to peace, or whatever that may look like for anybody else.
Nah, for sure.
If your screws ain't tight or tight enough, it's gonna be a harder way to get there. And then that's why you see some people, you still may get there like that, but that's why you got celebrities committing suicide, killing themselves, this and that, because did everything else, but the mental health part, you forgot about that along the way.
That's how you know money isn't everything. Like it's a lot of depressed rich people. Not saying I don't want to be of that wealthy community, but you just see money does not solve all the problems of the mind. And that's another thing that came with my mental health journey, accepting that no matter how good of a day that I had, I could have had a whole good week. A bad day is coming.
Facts.
You can't avoid the bad day, bro. Like it always comes on the way. Expected it. So just my response to dealing with those bad days has changed a lot too. I used to get so frustrated. I'm like, dang, everything was going smooth, and then something bad would happen, and I would be so blown. But now it's like, not to say it's a negative mindset, but it's like I expect trials and tribulations. I expect turbulence. I expect something to go wrong technically. It's always something that's gonna happen. But dealing with it is what I feel like, dealing with it head on, that's what makes us better men, or women if you're watching too. But, that just makes us stronger. Like, we have to deal with those things.
Yeah.
Like, I was telling Flag D the other day.
Shouts out to my boy
Shout out to
Flag.
Flag D, man. My little brother, man. You may not watch it, but it's gonna be here for you.
Love you, Flag.
But he's kind of sad right now, and I was just telling him, bro, you kind of just got to play the cards that you're dealt right now. I know you weren't dealt the best hand, but it's like, okay, be aware of the present. Log off social media. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many distractions. Even for me now too, I always reminding myself, bro, like, untap in. It's cool to tap in and see what's going on, but the present now, at some points, the present seems more like the false reality because we're in our phones so much. So when you just turn off all that social media shit and you're just walking around, you're like, damn, this feels weird, but it's actually normal.
Right.
It's actually normal though, bro. Going to events and not having your phone. We're so used to just always have that it's like a crutch. I've used it as a crutch too. I walked into places, like I said, I go a lot of places dolo now. I'll go to places and it's just always your go-to. Like, I can just scroll on my phone. That'll make me just feel like I'm comfortable.
Ignoring, but sometimes that could lead into, like, I'm an introvert at heart, but like what they say, an extroverted introvert. But sometimes if I do that for me, just like assessing myself and acknowledging stuff, like sometimes that's just not to be seen. Sometimes, like, if it's not an empty room, but if ain't nothing going on, and just feel like, all these eyes here and there, it could be a comfort thing for some folks. And that way to do that. But it's like you said though, social media will definitely hurt mine already. Because if you're not strong enough to handle or to understand the fact that how these social media platforms started was just to share highlights, you get caught up into the whole, hey, this person, their whole life is lit up. They have a highlighted life, but in reality, the main goal of this app and these apps were to, hey, just post stuff that people would love to see or to like to see. So that's 9 out of 10. That's all you're going to see from anybody posting. Besides people who know, like, let me get them some of the real to break that barrier. But social media do it to them.
Bro, I'm telling you, I remember when I first moved to LA, I was on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I posted a video of the stars. Somebody wrote me, he said, bro, you're living my dream right now. And in my head, I'm thinking, bro, if I move this camera a little bit to the left, you're going to see a pile of piss and shit. Trash.
That's real life,
I'm like, bro, I'm showing you this right here, bro. Like, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, bro. So, but it's a lot of distractions these days. So it's like I try to, I utilize social media. We have to what we do, but it's like I don't get so sucked into it as I used to.
Had to pull away from social media like that, man. Again,
bro.
Noticing, and let's use it as a tool, as a business, because as of nowadays, it's kind of got it on the hand of being able to really just enjoy it. But as of now, if it's not business, like I'll be on there for sure. But I just feel like if I don't have anything of value to say, I don't just want to put anything out here in the world, you know. But of course, if it's a memory of a moment, like, yeah, that's cool. But if I'm just on here just yada yada yada, just doing just because that's what you're supposed to do for the app, I just can't do it. But so if it's not anything that's gonna bring value to who's following me or to my friends, family, whoever, business to also expand my business, it's just social media. It just become a place of turmoil sometimes. And there's so much negative stuff on there.
You right.
It's just, and that's nowadays. And again, all this stuff just sounds so cliche because it's talked about so much. But it's just like, when is it going to come to a point to where people really actually start to realize and act on the fact that notice what this stuff is doing to us as a people, as a person?
I think people know though, bro. I think not everyone, but I think a lot of people do realize it. But I think the world right now is stuck in a state of just blissful ignorance, Matrix, bro. Man. It's stuck. We're stuck in a lot of blissful ignorance. The things we glorify as a whole, like as a culture, we glorify the ignorant stuff. Even on social media, like when I'm on Instagram, unfortunately, sometimes, you know, like all the positive videos, sometimes I'll watch them, but sometimes I'll archive them to watch later. I won't go back. But if it's like some viral shock content shit, I find the time to watch that full video.
This is wild how
but the
wired.
other, I'll be scrolling looking like millionaire tips. I'll read it a little bit, but I'm like, oh, save it. I'll go back later, save it. But then somebody getting electrocuted, motherfucking off a bike. I'll watch that video though. So it's like it's a lot of unlearning and and relearning that we have to do at the point we're at. Because we came up in an era where at first we didn't have social media. We had phones like in 7th grade and shit. That's when we started getting phones. But so we got to see the non-social media world, but we got to grow with it too.
Yep.
So I've seen a lot of the changes of it where it's at now. I like that we're here technology-wise, but it's also scary. You know what I'm saying?
So scary.
Like it's scary, bro. So I just know for what's to come, I think everyone should just be focusing on fortifying their minds, bro. Like people are breaking out here, bro. There's so many depressed, sad people out here who are going with the illusion that they're not. Like I've met so many people even out in LA, bro, like 100, 200, 300,000 type people. You meet them, it's like, bro, can't hold a conversation, bro. They're sad.
And that's wild.
Like it's crazy, man.
Like that's just, speaking on culture, like this what's being instilled with that. A lot of people are what do you call it? Not anti-personal, but just they're like not even saying anti-social, but being able to be in an environment and interact with other people. Not used to that because you're so just used to doing it over a Wi-Fi connection and not actually getting that real deal personal connection and energy with somebody. So being in a room, not being able to really interact, that's a problem. And again, social media could be an issue for that. And then just the stuff that's on, there's no limits to it. So it's just the kids growing up these days, they got access to see any and everything. It's just like, and I just walking around, you'll just see when either a family is out somewhere or a mother and child, father and child, mother, father and child, whatever it may be, the first thing that happened when that child is a little agitated or something, here, get the screen, get the phone, get the iPad, here, and then just leave them at that. So it's like now at a younger age, these kids are already being trained to grow up having technology as a sidebar versus like, again, cliche, us growing up, we had the tech, but also you wouldn't catch me in the house 9 times out of 10 growing up. I wanted to be outside, but still then after coming from outside, then I know, okay, my wind down was the games and the tech and stuff like that. But
that's
the
the wind
majority
down,
of the day,
not the go-to.
I still want to get active and run. That still has to be done with being a young boy then, because we men and stuff with the energy, but still it's just kids nowadays. They even got it to where they got the I mean, this is cool tech, don't get me wrong, but a lady was in the store and pushing the buggy and had the kid in the front sitting down. They got the iPad where she had a wrap around her neck, sitting on her chest while she just pushing and shopping. And the baby.
Well, that's dope. That's dope. But it's still crazy though. It's crazy. We had a good place technology wise, but it is showing the younger generation like the instant gratification, bro. That's why when you taking these kids' phones in school, they're literally fighting the teachers.
That's wild, bro.
Whooping teachers, bro. Like you can't take that phone away. That's like they prize. Like you know what I'm saying?
That's wild.
No, it is, bro. But so it's scary, bro. Like it's scary the place that we're in right now.
Kids,
you know what I'm saying,
bro? I don't know what I would do if I was if my mom was one of them teachers and these kids just think they gonna do that to her, or if I was one of these teachers, it's just knowing me, like the whole, I mean, maybe I say I give it a 50% chance, but the whole, after that pain has been inflicted in my body, the acknowledging the age and size of this thing in front of me, it may be hard, because it's just like, when something is triggered, you could black out and just snap, and that's dangerous for these kids. But again, 9 out of 10, it's like the adult gonna get in trouble because it's like, okay, you hitting a minor.
Oh yeah, every time.
But it goes back to that household, like parents. What are y'all raising out here? Like y'all sitting here sending these little demon childs to these teachers at school, knowing for a fact, and this is just society and culture. As a parent, you barely raising your kid anyways during their K through 12 years, because what? Majority of the day, you wake them up in the morning, get them ready, send them to school, aka they daycare. They get off of work. I mean, they get out of school, and what? Sometimes they go to an after-school program because you still at work. You not seeing them. They come home, you get out from work, you tired, want to wind down. That's what's sitting in front of a TV. So it's just like, and I'm not a parent, so I'm not trying to give out any parental advice, but just on my opinion is that, hey, spend some time with them with the time you actually got. Because just to think about it, you really don't have a lot of time. You want to send this kind of a kid to a person, the teacher, who is really taking care of your child for you, and the one who's responsible of looking over your child while you're at work trying to survive and this and that. So it's just,
for sure,
it starts at home for sure. But the kids nowadays, bro, the buck they got in now is I can't.
I mean,
do
yeah,
it,
bro. It's a lot of demons running around, bro. Even the fact that people want to be that, want to be called that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's another topic, but I do think that it does start in the household, bro. Even doing the Reentry Network podcast in LA, 99% of those stories, it starts out, even when they had two parents, had a nice household, it was a lack of something that they weren't getting, whether it's a lack of love, guidance, and they sought it out. And it kind of goes back into the phone. Even if you're not seeking it out from joining the gang or other people, you can look in that phone and get all type of crazy ideas. Because it's not no censorship on the phones.
At
like
all.
Your parents don't do nothing. You have access to everything that's on
At
there.
all.
So I think it plants a lot of seeds in people's heads, bro. So I just feel like, as you get older, like I said, fortifying your mind is just so important, man. Because it's really like a lot of the things that stress us out. Sometimes when I get over feeling like super stressed, I'm like, wow, all that was just in my head. My whole existence every day and how I view life is literally are just the thoughts that I'm telling myself. Nobody's forcing me to feel this way. Somebody can disrespect the shit out of me, bro. And they didn't make me feel how I feel.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm choosing to either give in or be like, whatever.
Right, you
it's
can
cool.
initially feel it, but if you just really, when you feel it and think, that's okay, am I gonna give this person this much power over my day, my life, my energy? Yes, it may be ruffling my feathers, but acknowledging it at least to give you the mindset of, let me deal with this in a different way. So you're definitely right about that, man.
It's all mental. And that's why, like, where I'm at right now, it's like I feel like I've been a role model, but it's like now I'm stepping into the shoes more of being a role model. Because as we get older, we're meeting people who are at a point that we were in life, where we were kind of ignorant too. So when I meet people, it's like I share some of the things that I would have did if I was that age, and I some people remind me of myself who are younger. Cause I'm like, man, it's so easy to just make certain decisions. Sometimes you have to get where you at now. Like, if I could go back and do it all over again, I'm not the type of person that would say, oh, I have no regrets. I have plenty of regrets, but it's like, because we can't do things over, you gotta just accept things for what they are.
Yeah, for sure.
And everything that I've done shaped me into who I am today. I'm gonna still make a whole bunch of mistakes. I got a whole bunch of mistakes to make.
A lot of them left in the bucket.
Yeah,
sure.
I got a lot of mistakes left in the chamber, bro, but I'ma just, I know that it still shaped me into who I'm becoming. I like the path that I'm on. So it's like, I know that we do have to be role models, because there's so many people who are negative role models out here.
And that's what's love nowadays. That negative light, like you say, just bounce back to social media real quick. You can post something negative, post something positive. The positive thing can be the best thing you've ever done for humanity. But post something about somebody getting into it, fighting, bloodshed, gunshot, money store, whatever, that thing going crazy, bro. So that's just wild in itself. So bouncing off what you said real quick, you had mentioned the Reentry Network podcast, and I know that's what you got going on out there in California. But for the listeners, anybody that may be watching, just tell them a little bit more about what you're doing with the Reentry Network podcast. Because me personally, I feel like it's dope. I wish even just the whole the Reentry network itself and PV jobs, it's a dope thing. And I wish Atlanta had it for some people, but just tell them what you got going on with that and kind of give them a breakdown on the scope of the Reentry Network podcast.
Oh yeah. So first off, shout out to T and Yacht, man. Y'all met them. That's my boys, man. Yeah. So on the Reentry Network podcast, we're bringing on formerly incarcerated individuals to share their stories, what led them to how they got where they were in prison, prison experiences, and where they are now. But the thing is, we only bring on people who are on the positive side. So, hopefully dropping some gems to the youth to deter them from going down that pathway. But it's been some really good stories on there, man. Like, for real, even if you somebody who hasn't been to jail or prison, just sitting down and hearing some of these things that people have overcame. The Reentry Network podcast also contributed to me not making any more excuses. Because, you know, you'll interview some people who have done 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, and they came out and they're getting it, grinding, not giving up on themselves. I'm like, somebody can come out of being locked up in a box for 25 years and get on their shit. There's no reason why all of us free people who are free right now can't do that in our everyday lives. So every time we do another episode, you know, it kind of motivates me. So with that, I'm the producer. I'm actually doing the behind the scenes, filming and editing. Shout out to Juan and Looney, our interns, man. They killing it. Looney just called me before this. But you know, another reason why I appreciate it, kind of we were talking about, I'm able to be behind the scenes. A lot of things I do in my regular life, I'm in front of the camera. But with this, I'm behind the camera. So it's kind of, it is fresh air, you know, get to make them look good. And, you know, I don't have to be in front of the camera. It's cool being in front, but that break feels great while you're still being productive. So for y'all who are listening, Reentry Network Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart, everything pretty much that you listen to podcasts on. Check us out.
Make sure y'all check it out for real. They got some dope episodes that's out. And it's just like you say, the stories of some of these people. Like, which one was it? Not the guy who had the clips of I don't know. I'm just gonna say the name. I know it's not 60 Days In. The guy who had the clip on TV, not that dude.
Jared Nava.
It was the other guy. Maybe it was the one in the MS-13 game. Remember?
Edwin.
That crazy story.
That's who made us viral the first time. Edwin. So it was a pretty good interview. Yeah, man. I think we just dropped episode 24 or 25. We're already at around roughly 700,000 views in like 8-9 months. So we're going for that million. Once we get a million, though, it's like, damn, now what? You know, because that's like the milestone for everybody, a million views.
A milli.
Yeah, so we're just staying consistent with it, man, you know, and just learning so much through that process. It's been like a very fun experience, man, like for real.
Yeah, I think that's a good outlet to them as well. Like coming out of prison could be hard for somebody, but at least people who got a mindset and a will to want to keep going and to doing things great despite what they may be perceived as in life or looked at, it's dope for them to do that. Because it's like nowadays you may have done one thing, but come out and people will judge you based off of that one thing. But it's just like, just to bounce to say like how the media and people in general, but specifically media, how they have portrayed things to just be whatever they feel like they wanted to be. It could be the truth, it could be a lie. And just for example, like the whole Jamie Foxx situation, the fact that I'm praying, he's doing well. I'm a fan of Jamie Foxx, but I don't know what's going on over there. I'm not behind the scenes with the family, but the media would just take either a sound bite, a clip, one fact, one opinion, or just make something up and plaster it and run with it without even just thinking about this man's family and the anxiety they going through, knowing what's going on. Because like even when as much as they post about it, the last thing I heard, he been at home recovering, playing pickleball. So
for sure.
The people and the media will just try to smear your image or just do whatever they want to do for likes, clickbait, and stuff like that. So just being careful of, it's about again being mentally tough of being able to handle somebody trying to paint a narrative of you or what's going on in your life that ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. That's the truth, dog.
I mean, the media, when the media is against you, man, like you have a very strong adversary, bro. Like for real. And like you said, even with the Jamie Foxx thing, just in a week, I've heard so much stuff. Until his daughter, I was thankful when his daughter came out and said he's good, you know, he's at the crib. But you know, I had heard all type of stuff, man. So that's just another thing. But think about the days when we were younger and all we did was listen to what the media told us. Whatever came on that TV, that's just our reality. And it wasn't until I got older that I'm like, wow, like you really have to do your own research.
You got to, bro.
Because the information's out there. It's a lot of stuff that is hidden, but it's a lot of stuff that's there. It just takes a little bit of intentional searching and you'll find the answers to so much stuff, man. Like for real, I was telling somebody the other day, or maybe I'm tripping, or was our first introduction in social studies of black people slaves? That's the first time they taught about black people in school, right?
That's what I remember.
And to me, I'm just like, bro, that's crazy. Like the first introduction. So imagine being a little kid you're in the class with black, white people, Hispanics, and the first introduction to black people are slaves.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that's
I didn't
put in
think
their
about it like
mind.
that.
We were so much before that. But the world, the media, whoever, the powers that be said, we're going to introduce them as slaves to these little kids. So
That's
already
wild.
from childhood, it's already a certain dominance that they're like, you know what I'm saying, in their minds. So it's a lot of unlearning and relearning to
So
do,
you
man.
set people up. Now I ain't gonna say for failure, but knowing those minds are in such a transformative stage of being shaped and molded into what it's supposed to be. That's how sometimes they may inflict self-hate upon themselves, or just knowing
It's programming.
colorism, as far as, hey, because my skin is black and what they portrayed on TV or in these books, I'm supposed to believe this and go this and that, when it's actually not true. Like, you just gotta learn. And when I have kids, I teach them, like, sometimes you gotta take the face value of what things are, what they say, and sometimes you don't. You just gotta, like you say, do your due diligence.
Yeah, it's
And
programming,
dig
man.
down deep and do your research and figure some stuff out. Because again, the media, but it's a cutthroat game out here. It's like,
It's
nowadays
cutthroat.
it's all about money, and popularity and fame. Well, I'll say majority of it is like that, because everybody, you do have some good, warm-hearted people who are actually in this for what it's supposed to be for. But some of these folks, they don't care. As long as they getting their ratings, their views, the likes,
That's it.
this and that. It's just
They'll
like,
say
whatever
whatever,
we
bro.
gotta do, we gonna do it to accomplish this goal. But it's the world we live in. Unfortunately, we gotta live here for a period of time, but we all got a good purpose here. So all those distractions, it's gonna be there, but we just can't let those distractions stop us from reaching our purpose. And the media portraying things, getting to our purpose, like for us as well. We could have been easily distracted from ticket sales and promotion from the show we just did put together last night. And it's just like everything that could have been against us, as far as the time we got the date, participation and this and that, things may have worked out in the end, but we had a goal, set it out and reached it. And because of that hard work and dedication, we ended up having a good show. Just to recap the show last night, y'all. If y'all did come out, salute to y'all for popping out, showing Boss Club some love last night at the live show at Snips Old Bar. We're gonna do it again for sure. But it was a good event,
show,
man. Everybody's performance was great. I had fun, dog. And then the fact that, well, you can tell them that story. Like, bro, he wasn't even supposed to be here for the show last night, but some way, somehow,
man,
my boy played Ninja Warrior and snuck. He was in the show for the whole time in the show, for 3 hours, sitting in the crowd chilling.
Hey, it was not
And
an
nobody knew
easy.
he was
It
there.
was not an easy feat, man. But I'm glad, like, having it just passed and I did it. I'm happy I
Yeah.
did it like that, bro. So I know he just told y'all, tell y'all. So we planned it. Once you came up with the whole show thing, it's like I knew I couldn't miss that. It was our first concert. I would have felt like a piece of shit missing that. So got the ticket, got a little cheap ticket, shot the Spirit. Let's be real, Spirit. If you want to get
He's
somewhere
like, get a
fast,
chill
you don't
spell.
need too much luxury. Hopped on Spirit, made it out here, bro. So I knew I had to wear a disguise,
Yeah.
because everybody would have recognized me. So I put a hoodie on, I masked, put my COVID mask on, and it was very awkward.
Right,
But-
bro, was disguised but stood out only because it's just how weird the world works. You having a mask on now looks different from people not wearing masks. Even though still you should be wearing them sometime. But
Exactly.
that's
So
funny,
a couple
man.
of people thought I was security. I remember one time the girls couldn't open the door. I opened it for them. They said, "Can we come back in if we leave?" I said, "Yeah, y'all good. Just come back." So it's like, it was cool though, even being able to come out on the stage. And I was actually telling somebody back in LA, I was like, it wasn't so much that I expected the crowd to just go crazy, like, 'cause I'm not on famous or nothing, but I just wanted it to be like the home team. I wanted it for them, the home
That'd be
team,
the
to have
best
that
part
reaction.
about it, man, dog. Just knowing, like, if you got some friends or people you've been rocking with for years, and y'all known to when you get together actually have a good time. Like, it doesn't matter who's around, what's in the room, as long as y'all still connecting and just having a blast. It's just like, at the end of the day, that's the goal, and it's fun. Like, that's what happened last night. It was a good turnout,
sure.
but most importantly, a lot of us was in the same room at the same time, and it ain't been that in a while. But being able to do that last night, even while we was having fun and handling business at the same time, that's a blessing in itself, and it was just fun. So next time we do a Welcome to the Club show, if you watching or if you listening, get your tickets and pull up.
I mean, yeah, y'all come out for sure, man. And kind of what you said at the beginning of that, it's like the idea was there from the weeks leading up to it. Got discouraged at certain points, but we just said, let's keep pushing, keep promoting it. And it's like we hit a good number of people, man. It was so a lot of things are possible, even when it's looking bad. If you just keep pushing through that, it's possible. That's another thing that goes down to what we've been talking about, being strong through your mental. Because we were at the point we had only sold 16 tickets, and we were just like, bro, this show is going to be it's going to flop. We just kept going, kept telling people about it, and it was a vibe, man.
Yeah, so, man, good turnout.
Good turnout for sure. But just bouncing back real quick, closing on the whole media thing. I just want to say, a big part of also what defines us is not letting the media define us, not letting other people's opinions of us define us, not letting people put ceilings on us. That's just kind of what I stand on. Because like me, I know I made a lot of changes from who I was 10 years ago, 8 years ago to now. I can honestly say I'm at a point I'm changing every 6 months because I'm trying to elevate. It's certain times when it's certain birthdays I've had, not even certain birthdays, just times in my life where I can feel it. My body is calling me to elevate into a better person, more knowledgeable, bro. And it comes down to who you're surrounding yourself with too, bro. So, it's easy to get in that state of blissful ignorance like we were talking about. A lot of people don't. They will just go with what the media is showing them. They don't care to do their own research. It's so easy to be in blissful ignorance because you don't have to worry about the reality. You just worry about, oh man, where am I getting fucked up today? Like about to go home, smoke, chill, It's a cycle. And then you look up 5 years past, then you start becoming bitter and old. It's just not even nothing wrong with being old. I want to become very old. But
got that right.
Once you get to that point where you're old and bitter, you're living with regret because you didn't just live your life. So
yeah, man. You gotta be aware and have self-awareness of where we at in life. Of course, like I said, getting older.
Definitely.
The biggest thing is growth and development. It's being able to, especially this is for men, being able to step into that man role, put away the childish things and grow up and just switch that mindset of if you want to be a husband or a father, knowing, hey, it comes with being a provider. So getting those eggs in the basket and working on self. But just to say like today, the conversation we was wanting to have, just catching up and just again, just having the space to express ourselves in some kind of way or just get off thoughts and stuff of that nature. Because again, there's not a lot of rooms that people can do it in general. Not only just men or black men can do it, but just have a space to where sit down and just talk. A great way to heal from things, a great way to bond is just through conversation, simply that. And also the greatest way to solve issues is through conversation. But
that's it.
But just as a recap, just catching up, life's good. Pretty much can't complain, God breath still in my lungs every morning, still beating, gonna keep going, trying to reach the goal to get it where we going. Again, that's what it is, man. So I don't got no complaints. You got any before we close out, any announcements, any closing things you want to tell the people or something like that? Anything got coming up or something?
For sure. Just speaking on the podcast stuff, I'm gonna be revamping Senseikyh soon. I dropped 2 episodes. And I took a break from it. Kind of what we spoke about earlier. Getting yourself together before you continue doing certain things. So I wanted to take a pause with it, but I'm about to revamp it. Summertime's here. I've been putting a lot of just knowledge into myself, and I feel like I'm ready to start it back up. You know what I'm saying? I just want to help other people. I'm not perfect. I haven't figured it all out, but sometimes when I talk to people and I say the things I've learned, they're like, wow, I needed to hear that. And I'm like, wow, that was just like some normal stuff that I just been going through. So it's like, and I know you have the same effect on people too. Like, just be more of community leaders. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So that new music coming soon. It's like I'm wearing a lot of hats right now. So I'm trying to just balance out every aspect of me, just watering a lot of different seeds that I have inside of me. So right now, my word for this year is just balance and focus.
Facts.
So
at least you watering them seeds. A lot of folks plant seeds.
I mean,
come back to put the work in.
I'm watering them, man. I'm watering them. I remember I saw the quote a long time ago. It said the most money, the most wisdom is all in the graveyard. So many people did not bring those things out of them. Now, when I have a new idea, I kind of, unless it's something just a grand idea, if it's something I know I can pull off, I usually give myself at least 15 days to get it out of my head.
That's a good method.
Like, I hate with just sitting. If I have a content topic or something, I'm like, bro, make it. You got a camera. Like, what are you talking about? Get a haircut.
The hardest things. You got the tools you need sometimes.
Yeah, the only hindrance for me is if I need a haircut, it'll make me pause. Like, I'm not doing it if I need a haircut. But other than that, bro, I'll do it. So just getting these ideas out of my head. And if you're watching this, get those ideas out of your head, you know, because all of us have so many creative things that were possible. And just like you said, just as men, keep growing, let go of those childish things, but also keep your youthful spirit. Facts. And don't let the world break you. Facts. Don't let trauma and these sad moments make you feel like you just have to be this cold person. You know what I'm saying? Like, being youthful is what makes me want to keep living and thriving. So be more mature, but also don't abandon your inner child that, you know, wants to just have a good time and, you know, live. So that's where I'm at right now, man. Like, this is a good conversation, though. I'm glad we got to even just sit down and do this. I'll be back. But yeah, just full scale elevation, bro. That's what I'm on. I'm happy where I'm at right now, but I know I'm still not trying my hardest. I think we all have that feeling. Like, I'm good, but I'm like, even when people congratulate me, I'm like, cool, but I'm not satisfied until I know I'm bringing it all out. Because I got so much in me to just give to the world, but, you know, reminding to give it to myself too. Because self-love is very important.
That's the best love. That's the best love, man. But off of that, is any announcements for me? Again, if you're listening right now to this episode, if you're watching, just be prepared and stay tuned for more Inherited podcast episodes coming out. I'm ready to get back on this journey. It's been a long time coming. I've been loving it. So just stay tuned for that. Other than that, keep staying in tune with the Brandon Cole Apparel. If you need a good gift for anybody, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, whatever it may be, go to www.thebrandoncoleapparel.com. Make sure y'all shop till you drop. Outside of that, again, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube page. Like, comment, and subscribe to the Reentry Network podcast page as well. And outside of that, just make sure y'all continue to stay strong. Keep your head on your shoulders tight. And then say if I got any final words for anybody out there, it's some motivation. And just like what Kai had said, if I can choose 2 words to get to y'all or to focus on, like for myself, it's discipline and consistency. So whatever y'all doing, make sure y'all discipline at it. And the main thing is just to be consistent at it, because consistency is one of the greatest killers of success. Like, not being consistent with what you're doing. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that on my end. But real quick before I go, do you got anything you want to say as far as that, like advice to somebody real quick? You just tell them, get personal with them real quick and look them in the eyes from the sensei himself. Motivate the young 17-year-old living in Stone Mountain right now, who's stuck between a rock and a hard place, trying to figure it out whether they about to take their route and go left or buckle down and go right. What would you tell them?
We in quarter 3 right now, right? Quarter 2?
2 going into 3.
All right, so we're going into quarter 3. I know you. Let's take yourself back right now to December 31st, 2022. We're going into quarter 3 of 2023. Did you implement the things you said you would? Were you consistent? This year is almost halfway over, and you know how you felt December 31st, 2022. Just keep that in mind every day. Also, I think a lot of us think that time's moving faster, but I think it's because we're not appreciating the days. We're looking so forward to payday, vacation, bottle, I'm gonna get fucked up this day. Appreciate every single day as it comes. And I just feel like you'll be more fulfilled, man. And don't let nobody put a ceiling on you. That's my main thing that I preach. Don't let nobody put a ceiling on you. It doesn't matter who you were to people 5-6 years ago. Some people will never let go of that image that they had of you. You know what I'm saying? But you know who you are, you know your heart, and you know your goals. So, you know, prove it to yourself before you feel the need to prove it to anybody else, man. Amen. You know, and that's all I got for y'all. Tap in with me on Mind the Kai as well. Like, subscribe, coming back. And make sure you rock with Sir Gates, man, on the Inherited podcast. We're just about to hit y'all with so many gems, man. So just stay tuned, man. But that's all I got for
Yeah,
him.
man. So again, thank y'all for listening. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Inherited YouTube page on all the social media platforms at Inherited. Follow me on social media at Sir Gates BC. Again, that is at SRRGATESBC. Follow me. Thank y'all for tuning in. Love y'all. Until next time, Inherited podcast. Y'all be easy. We out.